Would like to call to order the April 16th, 2018 meeting of the Cabarrus County Board of Commissioners. Welcome. It's good to have everybody with us tonight. We're very happy to have with us tonight for the presentation of colors J.M. Robinson Air Force JROTC from J.M. Robinson High School.
Left, ice, freeze it, guys.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Harry, guys. House. Left, ice, hard, arch.
Thank you very much. And after our invocation, we'll ask the members of the JROTC to come back up and introduce themselves, and we'll have a pin for you. We're very happy to have with us tonight the Reverend Scott Davis from Pitts Baptist Church for our invocation.
Okay. Thank you for the invitation. Let's pray. Father, we thank you for life and for the blessings of life. The Scripture says that every good and perfect gift comes down from you. And so we thank you for your many blessings to each of us, and for even your common grace of making your sun to shine and rain to fall on everyone. Lord, it is by your hand that we have health and provision. We also thank you for our community. We pray for the families and individuals of this county. We ask for your watch care over each of them. And God, we pray that you would establish and make productive the work of our hands. We ask tonight for your wisdom to these commissioners. The Bible says that if we encounter situations where we lack wisdom, we can ask for wisdom from you, and you will grant it. And so I pray for them tonight in their work, that if they find themselves in any situation where they need guidance, that they would seek it from you. We pray for their agenda tonight, that your will would be done. And Heavenly Father, we also ask for your watch care and safety over the public servants who work in law enforcement, the fire department, or ambulance services who strive to assist us in some of our greatest moments of need. Just like the rest of us, they desire to go home safely to their families at night. We ask your protection and favor upon them. Lord, may we all live in such a way, serving you and others, that at the end of our earthly lives, we may hear those words from you, "Well done, good and faithful servant." Until that day, grant us strength and peace. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Reverend Davis. We appreciate you being with us tonight. We are also happy to have one of our youth commissioners with us up front tonight, and it's Brandon Gillespie. Welcome, Brandon. Glad to have you. We now ask if our members of the J.M. Robinson Air Force JROTC would come forward and introduce yourselves. Tell us a little something about what you like about the program, and then Commissioner Honeycutt, to my right, will have a pen for you as you leave. And please speak into the microphone so the folks on TV can hear you as well.
Hello, my name is Cadet First Lieutenant Carland. I am the Color Guard Commander for our J.M. Robinson ROTC unit. And my favorite thing is, over the years, it's taught me a lot about respect and order. It's given me a very good disciplinary system for my life.
Great, thank you.
This way, sir?
Hello, my name is Cadet Captain Gordon Donovan. I am the Support Squadron Commander at J.M. Robinson NC-20063. And my favorite thing about our JROTC program is all the competitions we get to do, all the trophies we get to take back with us, and all the friends we get to make at all the other schools, and all the camaraderie we gain within our own unit.
Great, thank you.
My name is Cadet Captain Jay Van Burleson. I'm the Expedition Team Commander at J.M. Robinson. My favorite thing is all the special teams the school has to offer. They're all unique in their different respects, and they all have their own fun things that I like to do.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Cadet Major Bryce Punslin. I'm the Group Executive at NC-20063. And my favorite thing about JROTC is Colonel's lectures and the life lessons they teach us.
Great, thank you.
Hello, I'm Cadet Major Ryan McConville, and my favorite thing about JROTC is it teaches you how to not only be a leader, but how you can lead others as well.
Great, thank you.
Hello, I am Cadet Senior Master Sergeant Scotty Johnson, and what I love about ROTC is all the different bonds we get to make with one another throughout our different special teams and activities.
Great, thank you. We appreciate all of you being with us tonight. Okay, next item on our agenda is the approval or correction of the minutes, and you all have copies of those in front of you. Do I hear a motion to approve or correct the minutes as presented? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. Next up is approval of the agenda. I will mention one change. We have on our agenda a closed session, and I've been told that we do not have need of a closed session tonight, so do I hear a motion that we approve the agenda with that?
Mr. Chairman,
yes.
Just to tell you, to show you how intently we are paying attention, I think the first motion we made was for the agenda, and so now we need to go back and do the minutes. If I heard that correctly. The first
motion was supposed to be for the minutes.
I think you said agenda.
Well, let's make sure. So do I hear a motion that we approve the minutes as presented?
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no.
No, I mean, sorry.
We're-
Okay, let's start over.
We're really on a roll tonight here.
Why don't you tell
Okay.
them why?
Okay, that motion does pass. Okay, next, do we have a motion to approve the agenda with the omission of the closed session?
So moved.
Yes.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. That motion passes as well. And we move to recognitions and presentations. And we are delighted to have a presentation tonight on the Holler Parade by CSM Productions and Jacqueline. And every year I still go with your name.
Gaffera.
Gaffera.
Yes, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm Jacqueline Gaffera with CSM Production and the 600 Festival Association. The 600 Festival was created in 1980 to support NASCAR racing right here in our community. So we are excited to kick off these festivities in Cabarrus County on May the 4th. We will have our 5th annual Movies on the Campus. It will be held right in Veterans Park. We'll have a video screen there for all the families to come out to downtown Kannapolis, and at 6:30, the movie Cars 3 will be a part of the event. So we're really excited. So please join us that night. It is a part of the Jiggy with the Piggy Festival that's taking place that weekend. On Saturday, May the 5th, we'll have the 2nd annual Zucchini 600, where kids can come out and build zucchinis and race them down a track. It's very similar to a Pinewood Derby race. You can see some photos of some of the kids that participated last year in their zucchini cars. We will have the age groups this year of 9 and under and 10 to 14, with the top 3 winning prizes, awards, trophies, as well as a most creative and most nutritious built zucchini car. Then we head into downtown Concord for the 5th annual Haulers on Union Parade and Fan Fest. I will add that this will be the 3rd year that we've had the Fan Fest in downtown Concord on Union Street. So it's a great street festival for the entire community. The NASCAR Monster Energy Cup Series haulers will parade through downtown. They will arrive around 6 p.m., but just prior to their arrival, when the event kicks off at 5 p.m., we'll have a band, the Tim Clark Band, to perform. And I'm excited to say I was just able to secure Austin Dillon, who is the driver for Richard Childress Racing. He is the defending champion for the Coca-Cola 600 and just won the Daytona 500. He will be on site for a Q&A. Winston Kelly will also, again, announce the trucks as they come through downtown and do the Q&A with Austin as well. So we're really excited to announce that bit of news. The Fan Fest will close at 8:30, but before those festivities end, kids can enjoy mascots, bounce houses. A lot of NASCAR show cars will be on display, as well as some simulators. So please join us from 5 to 8:30 on May 17th in downtown Concord. And as I mentioned, the Tim Clark Band, they will perform at 5 and 7 p.m. And then our route for the parade will again be the same. They'll start at Ride Now Power Sports and travel through downtown Concord, and will enter into the Charlotte Motor Speedway by Z-Max Dragway. So we're really excited for the month of May and all of the festivities in Cabarrus County, May 4th, 5th, and 17th. So I hope you all join us.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We'll say I've attended the event in downtown the last 2 years, and it's been great every year. So
Great.
looking forward to it.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Okay, next we are delighted to have from the Cabarrus Health Alliance, Marcella Beam, for the 2017 State of the County Health Report.
Hi, good evening. Thank you. So I'm sure many of you already aware, every 4 years, the county health department is required to do a community needs assessment. That's a mandate from the state, so every county participates in that. In 2016 was our most recent community needs assessment, and substance use, mental health, and childhood obesity were the top 3 priority needs for Cabarrus County. That process includes community surveys, key informant feedback, as well as looking at some data sources at the state and local level. I'm just giving you a little background. And so on those interim years between 2016 and our next one being due in 2020, we're required to do a state of the county health report, and that provides updates on those priority needs to date, so as we're working towards improving those. So in your packet, you do have a copy of the report, so I'm gonna touch on a couple of things just to bring to your attention and let you kind of know how things are going and how we're doing. The front page is kind of just a background on Cabarrus County, our size, where we're located. It's an option for people who have not been to Cabarrus County before to learn a little bit more about our community. The first full page, you're gonna see a recap of the priority identified issues that we had in 2016, and then it's gonna go into citing some different interventions that have been implemented over the last year. The opportunity that I get with Healthy Cabarrus is I actually get to capture what we do as a community as a whole, and not just as one entity. So it's not coming just from the Health Alliance, it's not coming just from Healthy Cabarrus. Some things mentioned in there are the community conversations that law enforcement have hosted, as well as Children Win, which is Children Wellness Initiative Network that the hospital system convenes. So it's really what collaboratively as a community we're doing together to address these needs. So that's gonna be your page 2 and then page 3, and they're sectioned off by topic area. The next page is going to talk about changes in our community. Obviously, I'm sure you are well aware of the dynamic growth that's going on in Cabarrus County. We continue to grow pretty quickly. It's a great place to live, so people are coming here quite frequently. So that does impact when we look at health-related things, how we can better provide services and identify resources for that growing population. The next page is going to give you updated data. The biggest thing I want to highlight about substance use, if you'll look at this table, Cabarrus County Schools and Kannapolis City Schools participate in a Cabarrus Youth Substance Use Survey. If you look at that high school age category and the 2016 to 2017, they were asked questions about use of these substances, and I just want to highlight that there was a decline across the board for high school students reporting use of everything from alcohol, marijuana, cigarettes, illicit substances, as well as prescription medications. I hope we see that continue. Obviously, the opiate epidemic is very impactful in our community, and I just think this is a positive thing to highlight, that hopefully interventions are reaching our youth with all the work going on in the schools. As well as this page includes EMS service calls for naloxone, as well as opiate-specific calls or heroin use. The next page is going to give you an update on mental health, and this is looking at some ED admission-related data. And then the bottom section of that page talks about childhood obesity. Again, if you'll look at that 2015 to 2016 table, this data does come from Carolina's healthcare system's EMR system in our county, so we do see a decline in childhood obesity as well. You know, the interventions are just getting started, but the great thing about Cabarrus County is it's being kind of attacked from all angles. Most students have school gardens at the elementary level. All the school nutrition directors participated, as well as the cafeteria managers participated in a training on behavioral economics in the cafeteria line, so how to encourage youth to take healthier options rather than the unhealthy ones. So I think, and pediatricians are also working with youth, so the more we're able to attack it from these different angles, the bigger impact we're going to have over time. The last few pages, the next one is going to be your overarching mortality and morbidity data. So this is looking at the top 10 causes of death in the county, as well as kind of fetal mortality, so infant death and those kinds of things. I do want to highlight Alzheimer's disease related deaths has seen a pretty significant spike, and this is looking at per 100,000 population. So when we look at in 2016, 36.2 per 100,000, we jumped to 45.6 in 2017, excuse me, and compared to the state average, we're about 15 more deaths than the state average across North Carolina for Alzheimer's related deaths. I think that's due to our aging population that's ever growing. It's one of the fastest growing populations across the nation really, but we do see it at a higher rate than the state on that one. And then the last page on the back there is going to talk about some emerging issues. The biggest emerging issue is actually tuberculosis, and that has to do with an increased number of cases in Cabarrus County. There were 0 in 2015, there were 3 in 2016, and in 2017 we had 9. Due to that number, we're actually considered, residents of Cabarrus County are considered to live in a county at higher risk, just the way that they kind of, I guess, project out the numbers when it comes to typical number of cases in a population our size. And then finally is new initiatives. Harm reduction is a huge initiative. I think that's happening across the board, and what that means is reducing the harm related with substance use specifically. We've been focusing on the opiate epidemic, so increasing access to naloxone, which can reverse an opiate overdose, but also hopefully decreasing the spread of infectious disease. This is a report, again, that's done on an annual basis, and my goal is to be able to come to all elected officials meetings, share this with you also as you have an opportunity to make decisions that you feel like you have the most up-to-date information, and that we're not coming to you when there's a problem. We're letting you know as things are happening and updating you as they go. But I'm happy to answer any questions while I'm here.
Okay, questions for Marcella? It's a very comprehensive report.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next we have a proclamation, Cabarrus Prescription Drug Drop-Off Week, May 14th through 19th. And I think Marcella's going to talk with us about that as well.
So this is a prime example of how Healthy Cabarrus, not only Healthy Cabarrus, but community partners collaborate together. The Leadership Cabarrus class of 2018 decided to focus on the priority needs for their project, and they selected to focus on opiates and prescription medications. And so there are 2 new drop boxes in our county. Previously, there were 3 located in each law enforcement office in their vestibule areas, but now we have one in Harrisburg at the Harrisburg Hometown Pharmacy, and we also have one in Mount Pleasant at the Moose Pharmacy there. So this just goes to show in Cabarrus County that people from all different areas try to work together to address these needs. And the class raised funds. We're coming and getting proclamations from all elected officials, and then we're also working on a campaign for that week as well.
Okay,
Yes.
excellent. Would you like to read that proclamation, or would you like for me to do that?
I would love for you to read it.
Okay,
Commissioner
very good.
Morris.
Thank you. Okay, proclamation, Cabarrus Prescription Drug Drop-Off Week, May 14th through 19th. Whereas the Controlled Substance Reporting System reports that physicians in Cabarrus County prescribed 518,604 controlled substances in 2016, an 18% increase since 2013, and whereas in 2017, Cabarrus County EMS reported 437 opioid overdoses, representing an increase of 168% over the 2016 figure of 163 overdoses. And whereas Cabarrus County led the state in emergency department admissions per capita related to prescription opioid or heroin overdoses in July and August 2017, and remained in the top 5 for the remainder of the year. And whereas in Cabarrus County in 2016, 4.5% of middle school students and 15.1% of high school students reported using some type of prescription medication without a doctor's prescription. And whereas from 1999 to 2016, Cabarrus County experienced a 1,900% increase in opiate poisoning deaths. And whereas growing awareness of the dangers of prescription drug overdose and misuse have led to broad-based efforts by public, private, and nonprofit organizations to reduce the number of opioid-related overdoses. Whereas the Cabarrus Regional Chamber of Commerce Leadership Cabarrus Class of 2018 has worked to highlight the opioid prescription and drug problem in Cabarrus County and has partnered with pharmacies in Harrisburg and Mount Pleasant to add new drop boxes for unused prescription drugs in addition to the ones currently available in Concord and Kannapolis by law enforcement agencies, so our citizens will have more places to drop off unused prescription drugs. whereas the Leadership Cabarrus class of 2018 has developed a campaign titled Check Your RX, Check, Collect, Drop to publicize the week May 14th through 19th as Cabarrus Prescription Drug Drop-Off Week, and is encouraging the public to participate in a countywide effort to dispose of unused prescription drugs at drop boxes located across the county to help reduce the incidence of prescription drug opioid abuse. Now therefore, the Cabarrus County Board of Commissioners do hereby recognize the week of May 14th through 19th, 2018 as Cabarrus Prescription Drug Drop-Off Week in Cabarrus County, and urge all citizens to drop off unused prescription drugs at one of the designated medication drop boxes in Cabarrus County with the designation Check Your RX, Check, Collect, Drop during the week of May 14th through 19th, 2018. Do I hear a motion that we approve this proclamation? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? I will say that in all the conversations that we've had about the opioid problem and substance abuse problems, that's a recurrent theme of people finding leftover prescriptions in medicine cabinets that may be children or grandchildren or others that get access to that. So this is certainly a worthwhile project. And if there's no other discussion, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. And that motion passes. Thank you very much. Okay, we move now to Active Living in Parks, Older Americans Month. And I have down Londa Strong, but I think I see Byron Hagler here. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. Here we are in May, and the 2018 theme is Engage at Every Age. So emphasizing that you are never too old or too young to engage in activities to promote your physical, mental, and emotional well-being. Also celebrating the many ways in which older adults can make a difference in our community. So we have highlighted many different ways that we are providing all programs of all shapes and sizes for the month of May, and you can definitely look that up on our Outlook and on our website. But just also wanted to say that last year we were recognized by our area agency on aging for our region we won a competition for the programs that were offered, and we also got a little monetary contribution along with that. So we are striving hard to go after that again this year. And with that, I have the proclamation.
Okay.
Proclamation states, Older Americans Month, May 2018, Engage at Every Age. Whereas Cabarrus County Senior Centers Advisory Council recognizes that older adults are engaging at every age, advocating for themselves, their peers, and their communities, paving the way for future generations. And whereas Cabarrus County Senior Center Advisory Council is committed to raising awareness about issues facing older adults and helping all individuals to thrive in communities of their choice for as long as possible. And whereas Cabarrus County Senior Centers Advisory Council will continue to provide hours of volunteer, community, and civic service. And whereas we appreciate the value of inclusion and support in helping older adults successfully contribute to and benefit from their communities. And whereas Cabarrus County Senior Centers can provide opportunities to enrich the lives of individuals of all ages by promoting and engaging activity, wellness, and social involvement, emphasizing home and community-based services that support independent living, ensuring community members can benefit from the contributions and experience of older adults. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Cabarrus County Board of Commissioners do hereby proclaim May 2018 as Older Americans Month, adopted this 16th day of April 2018.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank
Do
you.
I hear a motion that we adopt this proclamation?
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
Can I say something?
Absolutely.
So Brian's looking at me and smiling. I am the liaison to the Cabarrus County Senior Advisory Committee, and we meet the day of this meeting every month at 11 o'clock. And I'm going to tell you, those are the most active, fun-loving, engaged people that I had a relative one time who we would try to get there, and she was in her 80s, and she would say, I'm not going there with those old people. Well, let me tell you, those old people have one heck of a good time, and they're not that old. So anybody who is of age, I would strongly encourage you to check out the programs that go on there, because they have activities for any interest in anything, and it's just good for your soul. They laugh a lot, they have a good time, and I would encourage you to check it out.
Thank you. Great. Thank you. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. And we are happy to have Tammy Sue Rimsberg from Planning and Development for Soil and Water Stewardship Week proclamation. Welcome.
Hi. Good evening, commissioners and guests. I am the Resource Conservation Coordinator at Cabarrus Soil and Water. As Cabarrus Soil and Water Conservation District, we encourage informed and responsible stewardship of all of Cabarrus County's natural resources. We accomplish this in many ways, starting with preschool classes about nature, all the way up to teaching about best management practices of soil, water, and all things connected to them. Cabarrus Soil and Water Conservation District's mission fits perfectly with your county commissioner's goal number 1, which is to preserve and enhance the quality of life of the county's inhabitants. By signing this proclamation, you are reminding us all how vital to life are all of our natural resources. And the proclamation is, whereas fertile soil and clean water provide us with our daily sustenance, and whereas effective conservation practices have helped provide us a rich standard of living, and whereas our security depends upon healthy soil and clean water, and whereas stewardship calls for each person to help conserve these precious resources, therefore I do hereby proclaim April 29th to May 6, 2018, Soil and Water Stewardship Week.
Great, thank you. Do I hear a motion that we adopt this proclamation? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. Okay, we now move to informal public comments, and I'm happy to say that we have quite a few tonight. As each person comes up, if you would state your name and address, and please speak into the microphone. And there is a timer there that gives each person 3 minutes. And first up is McKay Burke.
Hello, Commissioners. As many of you guys probably remember me from last year, I did the Bottle Smash Recycle Dash from last year, which was a 5K fundraiser. And that's been going very well with whole projects. It's been very helpful through the education of our school. And for this year, I've been planning, and I plan to do this again. Next Saturday, April 28th, it's a Saturday, and it's going to be at 10 a.m. for $10. And this year, what my theme is going to be is I plan to make a summer camp. Not this summer, but for next summer. So by the time, that'll be when I graduate as a senior next summer. So hopefully through this, I can raise enough money to get a summer camp kind of going for mainly middle school, early high school students, and get them interested in engineering fields and get them interested in coming out and joining the academy. And then after that, I'm thinking if I can get this summer camp going, this is probably going to be the one thing I can leave behind for the community, really further them out and kind of leave something behind for the community. So again, it's just, it's gonna be Saturday, April 28th at 10 a.m. It's gonna be at Mount Pleasant High School. It's a 5K, and it's gonna be for $10. And that's all I had for you guys.
Okay,
so.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next we have Pat Cordell.
Good evening. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, my name is Pat Cordell. I live in Midland, North Carolina, and I'm a member of the Friends of the Midland Library. First, I would like to thank you for your support for our mobile library for the past 14 months. We have grown not only in patrons receiving library cards, but book checkouts and our children's participation. Excuse me. I believe we have been compared to Mount Pleasant recently because of population size when referring to library use, but I ask you to remember that our library their library has been in existence for 22 years, third generation use, 216 hours a month, where we have been in operation for 14 months, 6 hours a month usage. When comparing our overall participation, I think you can see that we're using our mobile library beyond the expectations of what others had for us. Tonight, I'm here asking for your help, to ask you to support our library expansion this coming fiscal year. The town of Midland has agreed to place in their budget a request for the building lease funds for our expansion facility. The building owner has agreed to pay for any changes, updates, and code requirements that are necessary for the building to be used as a library. And I believe the manager, Mr. Downs, has agreed to place a request for the necessary funds in the county budget for staff and all other items necessary to have a library branch in Midland. Please help us by voting for these library funds in the county budget. The demographics of Midland and the surrounding county has changed the past several years, so I have provided you with a fact sheet tonight for your review and making your decision. I hope this information will help you see the need for a Midland library branch. We know there are many citizens and organizations of Cabarrus County asking for funding from your budget. We're here asking for funding to offer children, the elderly, and all the citizens of Cabarrus County surrounding the Midland area to have the same opportunities as other areas in Cabarrus County. The mission statement for the Cabarrus County Public Library System states that it is to connect residents with information and resources that educate, enrich, and empower. We ask that you help us uphold this mission statement for our area of the county. Thank you for your time and for your help by voting yes for a library in Midland. Thank you.
Thank you. That was perfect timing. Okay.
I've spoken in front of the council at Midland plenty of times.
Okay. Okay, next we have Margaret Houston.
Good evening, Commissioners and Mr. Downs. How are you doing this evening? The Friends would like to take a moment to thank you for the opportunity to share what the library has meant to the community. If the Friends that are here, please stand up. We also have included the trustee, Rich Bavard, for Midland. I have quotes from children who want to tell you what the library meant to them for the last 14 months that Ms. Cordell had mentioned. And they have quoted about what they liked having the story time and getting books and all that kind of stuff. And tonight, actually, the children are having their story time being read by the librarian from Bethel in their pajamas. And the little flyers that you have in front of you are from a month ago. And she really puts herself into doing the story and putting it to life, to making it really excitable for the children. So they really get a kick out of that. So also, the Friends have hosted a poetry contest for the month of April because it's National Poetry Day. So we have a minimum of 10 entries already. So the contest is over this evening. We're waiting to see if we have any more entries. And then the town will be dispersing the winners on the next town council. Since November 20th, 2013, voted the 5-0 supporting Midland concept of having a library. We are appreciative of Mr. Downs committing to put a 3-day-a-week service in his budget for this fiscal year, and ask you, the commissioners, if you would vote in support when it's time to vote for the budget. And in closing, so it doesn't matter the number of people that make up a town, but it's the quality of the town that make the number of people. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay, next we have Catherine Cuppers.
Most people try to say it with a funny, Coopers or something.
I don't get it right often, so thank you for saying so.
Yeah, I am from Midland also, and did you want my address? You said earlier.
That'd be great.
It's 729 Honeysuckle Lane. I actually don't live in the city limits, but I'm in the township. We've been told that because of budgetary concerns, the Midland Mobile Library hours will be reduced from 3 hours twice a month to 1 hour perhaps once a week. Of course, from what I've been hearing from other people talking, something else may have been introduced in the meantime. But we've been told that delivery of books placed on hold and issuance of library cards will be the only services provided. The library would no longer provide a selection of books for browsing and checkout. Now, it would be very discouraging, and it is very discouraging already to hear that kind of thing. It's very discouraging for the residents of Midland if the county cannot provide sufficient funds to the Cabarrus County Library System to continue the bare bones service that we have now. A 1 hour window for picking up books would not be long enough for people with busy lives, and children need to browse books, not have them put on hold for them. Please consider adding to library funding the amount needed to continue at least the current level of library services in Midland. We hear that funding the public schools is the county's priority, but you need to remember that public libraries are an essential part of an educational system for county residents of all ages. And thank you for listening to me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have Jennifer Ballon, and I probably didn't do as good a job on that last name. Okay.
Good evening. My name is Jennifer Balance. I'm from Midland. And as the previous folks who have talked about the Midland Library have said, thank you so much for your support of the mobile library. My family and I have been avid users of that. And I just wanted to come and talk about the expansion, and we would definitely love more of a Midland Library. Midland and the community mean a lot to me. My grandfather, Brady Black, grew up there, lived there. My mother was born there, went to school at Bethel, and still lives there. My family and I live in that same house. So Midland's really important to me. I want Midland to be more than a place where we leave from to go to work. I want a place to go when I come home from work. A library can be that place. It's a place to go after dinner or after the park or on a rainy day. The mobile library has been a great temporary solution to get books. As I said earlier, myself, my husband, my mom, my daughter, my son, we have all been using that and have loved using it. But a library is more than its books. It's a center. It's a heart of a city. Libraries are something that have something for everyone. They're a gathering place for adults to learn new skills. They're a place for our children to meet after school to work on projects. Libraries are not only house information, but create a means and space for patrons to create their own information. They teach our children to share and explore. They give access to information and technologies that we would not otherwise have access to. And as Neil Gaiman has said, Google can bring back 100,000 answers, but a librarian can bring back the right one. So libraries are a place, they're an idea, they help form the identity of a city. So please let Midland and my family and our community have that opportunity. Thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you. Next is Martha Dobson.
I'm Martha Dobson. My address is 1600 South Main Street, Mount Pleasant. The efforts to expand the Mount Pleasant Library branch continue. Last week, a community meeting kicked off a second fundraising event, as well as shared statistical library information and refreshed the fundraising effort started in late February. Attendees included Mount Pleasant townspeople, its mayor, several county commissioners, and the county manager, Mount Pleasant Friends of the Library members, and homeschool parents. A local business, Share Happiness Salon, funds the new fundraiser. Library supporters take their photos in a large picture frame at the library and post it on social media to earn $1 per photo. Information about the fundraiser started in February was shared. The special envelope for it illustrates how quickly the $25,000 goal can be reached with various donation and donor amounts. We're over halfway to our goal of $25,000 and have raised $4,000 since our 2018 kickoff. Money reminds me of value, a library's value. According to information from the Pew Research Center, Brookings Institution, strongtowns.org, and literacypartners.org, a public library's value to a community is measured by several categories, including stronger economies, building a healthy community, providing a valuable community asset, promoting literacy, and improving the overall quality of life. Statistics from the Pew Research Center 2013. 95% of Americans 16 and older say that public libraries are important because they promote literacy. 94% say having a public library improves the quality of life in the community. From public libraries online, libraries build communities by helping to revitalize neighborhoods or downtowns, serve as sustainability partners. I take my burned out CFLs to the Mount Pleasant branch. Provide small business resources, important in Mount Pleasant, and serve as places where people meet others, story time, book clubs, special programming, and meeting space. Public libraries have been recognized as a third place in a community. Home is a first place. The workspace is the second place. And businesses like hair salons, barbershops, diners, restaurants, gas stations, churches, and libraries are third places. Third places are important to community building because they are informal spaces where random and intentional in-person relationships are made. Location, accessibility, trust, and neutrality are important keys to third places. Our library is a third place. The challenge for this third place is being a valuable, supportive, attractive feature for Eastern Cabarrus County in a building that's bursting at the seams. We look forward to soon altering its size so as to better meet the citizens' needs.
Thank you. Okay, next we have Stephanie Bruner.
Good evening, and thank you for having us here this evening. My name is Stephanie Bruner. My address is 4791 Chesney Street in the Covington subdivision. I have been told that this is not the place for this discussion. However, I am a middle school teacher. I'll discuss anything, any place, anytime. I think that it's very important for you to know some of the things that are going on in Cabarrus County, even if it doesn't necessarily fall under your purview. The City of Concord is moving a communication tower from Weddington Road to Fire Station number 5. This will be only a few hundred feet from residential homes. And it will be 18 stories tall with a blinking beacon on the top. We asked for property impact studies. The first one they sent out for was a study that was done on commercial properties. That didn't help us out, so we asked for a redo, and what we got back was a property study that only showed homes within a half a mile of these or more of these towers. Why, you ask? Well, no one has been ludicrous enough to place one this close to residential homes and expect that there would be no impact on the home values in those areas. We feel that, of course, this will have a negative impact on our home values in our community, not only in Covington and Bent Ridge, but also other surrounding communities. Just in Covington alone, we're talking over 400 homes that could be devalued. Thank you absolutely goes out to the police, the fire, and the medics that depend on these towers to get their communications, to get them to be able to do their job, to get them home safely at the end of their shift every day. And we as community members want that for them because they are there helping us and serving us. However, we feel that there are plenty of commercial properties right within that same area that is being refused to look at. The homeowners have offered all of our assistance in any way we can in helping them try and find alternative locations, whether it's realtors that live within our area or whether it's just homeowners that are willing to talk to businesses and maybe offer them some tax breaks for letting the tower be moved onto their property. But it looks like very soon the tower is going to be in our backyard. And you can see that from the Covington community, this is the rendering of what we will be looking at just hundreds of feet from our homes. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Okay, next we have Lauren Bretto.
My name is Lauren Berdolo, and
boy, I really butchered that one.
That's okay. I think there's only 3 of us in the county here, and they all live at 4830 Turnridge Court in Covington as well. And I really don't want to say what Stephanie just said. I think she summed it up great, but I'll kind of give you a quick. I'm from New Jersey, so I talk really fast. So let me know if you need me to slow down. I have been here for almost 4 years. I moved from New Jersey. I moved my family here. We just picked up and left. We came down here, looked for a house, bought it in 4 days in Covington. I pinch myself every day when I wake up because this is my dream home. My husband worked in subprime, took a while to get back on our feet. We came on down here for a better life, and we have made one. So every penny in this house, and we can have any reports we want, and we can have any appraisals done or these impact reports, but it's definitely going to take the value down a bit in our homes. Apologize for my voice, passionate about this. But you know, for the rest of us, and this probably has nothing to really do, or maybe you might not care, but I need every penny in this house. This is my life starting over. My son who's deaf, you know, putting him through college. This is a big deal for us. Also, just to come to make a better life for ourselves from where we were. We live in a beautiful area with this gorgeous pool that I use every single day when my kids are off for summer, and just to have this in our development just really stinks to be able to have this looming over our pool in our common area where we're trying to make a community and neighbors coming out to have Easter egg hunts and do things. And again, having this tower here just really kind of stinks. And I really don't, I guess, have all too much to say that I just really don't want a tower, and I'm hoping that in this huge, big county that we can find a different place for it as opposed to right in our backyards here. So I thank you very much for your time, and hopefully you can help us or reconsider moving this somewhere else. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next is Tammy Shaw Dixon.
Hi, I don't have anything prepared, so I'm just going to speak from my heart. My name is Tammy Shaw Dixon. My address is 4831 Turnridge Court. We are just concerned not only about our property values, which everyone is obviously concerned about that. The impact study that the city has done, the second one just came back on Thursday. They said that they spent $4,000. They did not even consider trying to find someone local here to do it. They went to Hickory and used a company up there, which we felt that it would have been better suited if they could have gotten someone that was more familiar with our area. What struck everybody about it was, again, not only the proximity of other towers that they looked at. Ours is much closer than what they had said in their study, but also that they tried to say that there would be no negative impact on our values, on our home values. However, in this time period, they didn't say anything about them increasing either, and we all know what the values have done in Cabarrus County in the last several years. We've bounced back very nicely from when the bottom fell out in 2008. We've all suffered, and we've all started to come out of that on the other side. We don't want anything to hinder that, as we move forward. None of them, again, were that close. This is right beside our neighborhood, looming over our pool, our tennis courts, our basketball court. It's right next to Pitts Baptist Church. I know they have a daycare there that the children are outside playing, I'm sure, every day. I'm sure Pastor Davis probably is not very happy about it as well. Again, we don't know that you can do anything to help us as far as fight the city on this, but we felt that it was just important enough to come and at least approach you guys and see if there's anything that you could do to help us, because they've pretty much just shut it down and said that it's a go, and they're not even willing to work with us or try to find another place to put this, because they own the property at Station 5. And we just feel like something should try to be done. We've gone to our homeowners board director, the board of directors, and they don't really seem to be able to. They said that there's not really anything they can do to help us as well, because it's not in our CCRs. But of course, putting up a 180-foot tower is not going to be in a neighborhood CCRs. This is not something that happens every day. So we just felt like we should at least reach out to y'all to see if there's anything that you could do to work with Mr. Hamilton to see if we can possibly come up with an alternative decision to do this. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Chris Munez.
Hi, my name is Chris Munoz, and
Close.
I live at 4833 Brockton Court in the Covington subdivision, and I too want to express my concern about a 180-foot tower going very near my home. It will be when I walk out the front door. I can just imagine shuddering, looking at a tower that I worry about decreasing my home value, but also I worry about if there's any health impact to my family. So we just wanted to mention this and see with all of the Commissioners Board years of experience if anyone can help us, or if there's anyone out who can do something so that we can make sure that this tower doesn't go near our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next is Cheryl Gray.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Gray. My address is 5000 Weddington Road, Concord, North Carolina, 28027. I'm not sure if you need the whole thing. Just want to engage you a little bit. I'm the founder and executive director of an organization called Code Gray Day. And one of the questions that we ask our clients is, how do you eat an elephant? And if you want to, you guys can answer that. But unfortunately, not too many people who are dealing with the crisis in Cabarrus County that we are focusing on know how to answer that question. And the answer is one bite at a time, because we don't want people to become too overwhelmed with what's going on. The purpose of Code Gray Day is to connect people who are dealing with crisis like homelessness, who are experiencing it or facing it, with the resources within their county. And so our first initiative is to develop a resource fair at the Cabarrus County Library. It'll be taking place August 25th, 2018, from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. All people are welcome. We seek to have donations, guest speakers, vendors of all sorts from places like the Department of Social Services, Cabarrus Health Alliance. We've already had a couple of people come sign up to host a couple of tables. And we are just looking for more support and assistance if you guys would be interested in helping the homeless population in Cabarrus County. So, I can also add that we also submitted a proclamation request for August to be declared the Homeless Awareness Month, because I believe that the general public needs more awareness of the homeless population and how it impacts each person in Cabarrus County. I picked that month because after speaking with a couple of people throughout here, and I mean, leaders of churches, leaders of health organizations, the prime month that they get the most requests is August. And so we want to try to meet those needs and bring that out in that month so that people who are affected by homelessness will have the resources necessary.
Okay.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much.
Do you, if I have flyers, okay.
Yeah. Okay, next we have Michelle Turner.
Good evening, commissioners and panel. My name is Michelle Turner. I reside at 4450 Kelly Brook Drive here in Concord. I am a combat veteran who served in Operation Desert Storm, Operation Iraqi Freedom, and Operation Enduring Freedom. I am also the co-founder of a nonprofit called Combat Female Veterans and Families United. We provide post-combat transition services to female veterans and their families supporting life after war. And we accomplish this through a combination of education, program initiatives, and advocacy. As a combat veteran myself, and someone dedicated to veteran health and well-being, I'm standing before you today to personally ask for your assistance. In just a few weeks, we at CFVF United will be submitting an RFP to Cardinal Healthcare Innovations, requesting grant funds to support a peer-led veteran support group program. If selected, I would join another veteran member of CFVF United in leading a bi-weekly support meeting serving combat female veterans residing in Cabarrus County. I have prepared a packet here for a brief overview of our proposal. So here's why I'm before you today, to personally ask you, commissioners, if you feel that a pilot program has the potential of improving the lives of female veterans here in North Carolina. We hope that you will join us by voicing your enthusiastic support. Will you please take a moment to submit a brief letter of support addressing the feasibility and potential benefits of veteran-specific community-based programs. In this packet I have a letter here that I read to you today, also 3 pages of our proposal, and then the very last page is a sample letter of support if you're willing to help us out. Thank you for listening. I've been to 3 wars, but I'm super nervous right now. I don't know why.
No need.
Thank you so much for taking the time to hear my story.
You're welcome. If you'll give your information to our clerk.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay, that completes all the requests for public comments tonight. So we now will move to our consent agenda. This includes items that have been previously discussed at our work session earlier in the month. Do I hear a motion that the consent agenda be approved as presented? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. We move now to new business. First up, from Planning and Development's proposed text amendment. We're glad to have Jonathan Marshall to present that to us.
I think as I let you know at your work session, Ms. Morris is at a conference in continuing education. So these are some items I've been working with her on. This is a proposed text amendment, 2018-0001. It will require a public hearing, but I did want to go through what this text amendment includes. One thing unique about this, and you'll notice in the motions, should you adopt these changes, it will also require a change to the fee schedule. There's a fee we currently charge through our zoning fees that would shift to the fire marshal's office where the reviews will be taking place. So that's an additional motion that goes with this. These text amendments are a group that include something as simple as correcting a typographical error in Chapter 8 under conditional uses for reception facilities. Chapter 2 is a change to the rules of construction definitions to change the statutory definition of agriculture, which reflects a change that was made by the legislature as how you define a bona fide farm. Probably the largest change is Chapter 7, and those are performance-based standards for temporary uses. This removes from our zoning ordinance the events that include assembly as requiring a zoning permit. Rather, those will be the ones that will be reviewed by our emergency management office, where they'll coordinate all emergency and police functions that may be necessary for those events. Chapter 5 is district development standards, and that's a change to allow for someone to subdivide property or to file a site plan without having previously checked the land for septic suitability. We've gone back and forth on this. I think I explained that to you, but we find that people often feel that should be done after their site plan or subdivision, so this allows them that flexibility. The next change is to our subdivision ordinance, which allows a couple of certificates, just so it'll be clear to someone who may be purchasing that property or moving forward with that project whether or not that septic suitability analysis has been done. Finally, the Chapter 3 establishment of zones also amends references in the text and table to events, special events, and activities that is related back to some of those other changes. And finally, a cross-reference in Appendix B on outdoor lighting standards. Again, we went through these in a little more detail at your work session, but these are a group of changes that have been proposed. You had a copy in your agenda that included strike-through and red text to indicate where text had either been deleted or added. I will note the Planning and Zoning Commission did recommend approval on all of these except for the elimination of the temporary events from the zoning ordinance. They felt that there may be some negative impacts on adjacent properties, so they did not recommend that one. However, we have found that we've actually put this in place and in practice and have found that the system seems to be working. Should we receive any concerns or complaints, we'll bring those forward to you.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Jonathan? All righty, thank you very much. We do have need of a public hearing, so at this time I'll call the public hearing to order and invite anyone to the front that would like to discuss these text amendments. Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. And at this time, would entertain a motion to adopt the proposed text 2018-00001.
So moved.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? I will say that I was contacted by a couple people that were concerned about some pieces of this, but I think in further investigation, they were satisfied with it and felt did not have any opposition. Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. And at this time, I would entertain a motion to consider transfer fees for temporary use permits that include assembly from the zoning fee schedule to the fire marshal's schedule. Okay, we have a motion and a second on that. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. And next up, we have from Finance, acceptance of construction bid for New Southwest Area Elementary School. And we're happy to have Tim Louder with us, along with Susan Farrington, if needed.
Good evening, Commissioners, Chairman Morris and Mr. Downs. Appreciate you letting me come here tonight. Last week, earlier in the month, we came to you with in the work session and talked about the construction bids for New Southwest Elementary School. We're approximately over budget by about $4.5 million. I know we had discussed that you may have some leeway in your financing to allow us to cover a portion of that. Since then, we have gone to the Board of Education, and they allowed us then to accept the bid for Lightner construction and allowed us then to begin negotiation for VE items. And since that time, we have been able to VE about $625,000 out of the project to date. So what we'd ask you to do tonight is recommend that you accept the bid. Of course, it's contingent upon the Board of Education accepting it probably as we speak now. But the base bid was $29,450,000. We had 13 alternates on the bid. We accepted 9 of those, totaling $87,000. We less our value engineering of $625,422, and we're asking that we accept the award of a contract in the amount of $28,911,578.
Okay, questions for Mr. Louder?
One quick one. Do you expect that VE number to change at all? You said to date you had 600 and some.
Obviously, throughout the entire project, we'll continue to look for opportunities to VE that down.
None currently on the radar, but
we have a couple that are somewhat pending, but we're still having some.
Okay,
we're trying to analyze those to make sure that it's not going to impact the quality before we do those.
Thank you.
Other questions? Well, it was not good news when you brought us the proposal that was over budget, but it is good news when you come back and tell us you've cut that down somewhat. So we appreciate that.
Good news, bad news. It's still over budget, but it's not as bad as it was.
Right, right. We have confidence that you will continue to whittle that down.
We will do our best, sir.
Right. Okay. Any other comments or questions?
I just have a question. Tim, I was looking for this, and it was the tail end of our agenda, so while I was looking for that, you were talking, and you may have already answered this, but this bid that we have here for Lightner Construction.
Yes, sir.
29.6, is that the new budget, or is it down below? I mean, is it more? That's not
the new amount is $28,911,000.
28 million, okay.
Yes, $28,911,578.
Okay, does that take into consideration the higher cost of steel?
Yes, sir.
Because, I mean, what I understand, after getting a lot of phone calls and doing some research on, that has not passed yet. It's only a proposal. Is that not right?
It is only a pass for the tariffs. However, the futures market reacted. It doesn't really matter whether they pass it or not. The futures market for steel is what the price of steel is selling for. And we're at the mercy of whatever the steel market brings us at the time of bid. And then, the markets fluctuate up and down. I mean, one day you can say something about potatoes, and the next day it's twice as high. Well, that's kind of what happened with the steel industry during our bid process.
Yeah. Well, either way, it's still lower than what you had presented to us originally, so which is always a good thing.
Yes, sir.
But, that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Thank you.
Chairman, I was going to make one other comment. I have worked with Lightner Construction on a project in Rock Hill, a velodrome. And before the project started, I had to look that up because I didn't know what a velodrome was. So that's two things I remember about that is having to research that and figuring out it's a oval banked bike track. But the other thing is that Lightner is a very professional and a very good contractor. So I think I'm pleased to know that of the group that we saw, that they were the low bidder, because I think they will do a good job. Of course, we all wish the number was lower. We are subject to the current market, and construction prices are rising, but we do have a good contractor that you're going to contract with.
Thank you. We'll continue to work with and look forward to it.
Great. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
So at this time, I would entertain a motion to accept the construction bid for a new Cabarrus County Southwest Area Elementary School as presented, subject to approval by the Cabarrus County Board of Education.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. Okay, next we have a resolution amending the Board of Commissioner 2018 meeting schedule. And this is, the board desires to convene for the Commissioner's School Board Budget Review. The board will be inviting Cabarrus County School Board to join us on April 23rd in the multipurpose room of this building. And we do have a resolution attached amending that meeting schedule. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. And we move to item 4, Mount Pleasant Middle School sale offer review. And we have Kyle Billifer to talk with us about that.
Good evening. As you know, we have had the upset bid advertisement up. That bid upset advertisement came down at 4 p.m. today, and I'm happy to announce we did have an upset bid. It came in from the group that provided the first bid that the board accepted, and this bid was for $601,326 with a closing date of May 25th. So based on the last work session we had and what the board voted for, we will begin the upset bid process again with a new advertisement going up tomorrow.
Who are they?
It's Corporate Funding Associates.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Billifer? Okay, well, we hope they keep on going.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we now move to appointments to boards and committees. We have a new computer set up tonight. It's taking me a little bit longer to get to where I want to go. Or maybe a lot longer. Okay, first up, we have the terms of appointment for Joseph Plummer and Jacqueline Tucker on the Cabarrus County Animal Protection Advisory Board expired on November 30th, 2017. Mr. Plummer is not interested in serving another term. So at this time, I would entertain a motion to remove Joseph Plummer from the Cabarrus County Animal Protection Advisory Board roster and thank him for his service.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. And at this time, I would entertain a motion to reappoint Jacqueline Tucker to the Cabarrus Animal Protection Advisory Board for a 3-year term ending April 30th, 2021.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes, and I think we do have an application from another individual that has been recommended. So at this time, I would entertain a motion to appoint Sydney Carter to the Cabarrus Animal Protection Advisory Board for a 3-year term ending April 30th, 2021. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. Okay, we would like to point out that we do have quite a few vacancies on a number of boards and committees, and would encourage folks, if you have an interest in a particular area, to fill out an application. Those are available online at the county website. Also, you can call our clerk's office at any time, and she's happy to share that information with you. Currently, we've got 9 vacancies on the Adult Care Home Community Advisory Committee, 2 on the Animal Protection Advisory Board, which I think we just took care of. We have some on the Extraterritorial Jurisdiction for Concord Planning Commission, and a number of other openings. So there are opportunities to serve if folks are interested. At this time, I will open the floor to the commissioners to receive updates from various liaison positions to municipalities or boards and committees. Does anyone have something they would like to report?
Mr. Chairman, April the 19th, Cabarrus County and Harrisburg have a joint land use community forum at the Harrisburg Town Hall. It's a drop-in from 4:30 to 7:30. So any citizens interested in the Harrisburg area for that is your chance to review the joint use plan. And the other thing I would like to mention is this past Thursday night, I was at the Concord City Council meeting, and the City of Concord passed a resolution commending and congratulating the Cox Mill Chargers on their second straight 3A state championship and declaring April 30th as Charger Day. So I would like to encourage all of Cabarrus County to join with the Concord City Council and celebrate Charger Day on April the 30th.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Okay, does anyone else have anything they would like to report? Okay, I will mention that for those of you watching on television, these meetings are televised live and at a number of other times. Our work sessions, which we have on the first Monday of every month, previously have been, our work sessions are at 4 o'clock, and if they're finished in time, they've been on television that same night. But beginning next month, those will be televised live also. So there will not, that variable will not be there. So we'll be, all of our meetings will be broadcast live each time. And so we appreciate those people that watch on TV. I would also extend an opportunity to our youth commissioner if you have something you would like to report. Okay, very good. Well, we were happy to have you with us tonight.
Mr. Chairman, I do have one last thing that I wanted to make mention, because we won't be meeting again until this is already over with, and that is on Saturday, May the 5th, we'll be doing the Butterfly Garden dedication for Kathy Kitts in Midland, and we'd like to invite everyone to come out to the Rob Wallace Park. I believe is it 10 o'clock on Saturday, May the 5th, and the garden's already there, and hopefully we'll have some butterflies by then, maybe. So I want to invite everybody to come out on Saturday, May the 5th at 10 o'clock at the Rob Wallace Park.
Great, thank you. Okay, anything else? As I mentioned earlier, we do not have need of a closed session tonight, so at this time I would entertain a motion to adjourn. So moved. Okay. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. And we stand adjourned. Thank you.